Oh, hey everyone. Nice to see ya. Let's get tonight started. Cool. Oh, some people are already here chatting away. Nice to see you. Sit still, behave, and Trino boy. Oh, you're talking about the adventure. Okay, cool. Yeah. Hi there. Nice to see you. Yeah, they did see all your cool creations. Like I think like 80% or more, like almost everything you created, they saw it. They only saw they didn't see the mosquito monsters or something, the mosquito swarm. So actually, the first two, it was a three-episode arc, and the first two episodes are already on YouTube. So you can go back and watch it. And the last one, which was a little bit longer than usual, was like an hour and 50 minutes or something like that. It was it's still, you can still see it in the channel. I haven't uploaded it to YouTube yet, but it's still in the channel in the VOD, like previous video section. So you can see in the past videos for another week. And by then, by the time it goes down, I'll be uploading it to YouTube before it does anyway. So yeah, you have a way to watch all three of the episodes of this adventure, if you just want to, if you but want to. So I guess we now need to start tonight's session. Everything went a bit haywire. Everyone's either sick or down or out or having personal things, so like almost nobody was truly available for tonight's episode. So we canceled it instead of. Okay, well, just come back in a few minutes. You won't miss anything. It's okay. So thanks for the cheer. Hey, thank you, Peter Boy. So now we are going to we're going to do, instead of the regular Monday episode, we're going to do another writing session, which I thought we won't have any more time to do in the near future, and that is really good. I'm really happy that we're getting the chance to do this, because I have racked up quite a backlog of magic items that I need to write. Stuff that usually I would, if I didn't have these writing sessions, if I didn't have this one specifically, I would probably leave it, like most of them. There's some that I would write in advance anyway, but most of these items I'd probably leave to improvisation in the middle of a session when they went ahead and investigated these items. Some of these items are items I actually already have. They already have them in their backpacks. They just didn't ever investigate them. Went to find where they could investigate them in the city or in the kingdom somewhere. And if we didn't have this session tonight, I would just wait until the point they did it, and I would just improvise it with them. Probably ask them for input about what this magic item is. But now we get to actually write them together, which I also really like. One of them is going to be quite an elaborate set of things. Nice one, Tina boy. Thank you. That's a good it's a good veiled compliment. I think I would call it a backhanded insult, maybe. I don't know exactly how to call that thing that you just wrote. Your improv teacher, that rascal, that rapscallion. I don't know who that person was. Now we're gonna write things down, and that means that there is gonna be a bit less room for improv with the magic items. But I think the game is gonna improve thanks to that, because that is one element that I think would really benefit from being written properly. Before we start, so thank you for the cheer we just had from Tina Boy. We also had one new follow in the past, like this morning, just today. Draken's Fae, thank you very much for the follow. So that's all the news we have to share right now. Another piece of news, I'm still recovering from my previous illness, which was the reason we canceled Saturday's game, Saturday's stream, and that means I'm still gonna be a little, maybe I'll have a little sneeze or I'll cough a little bit in the middle of the stream. So just be ready for that. I might cough. If you have your headphones on, it might deafen you, temporarily or permanently. I take no responsibility. And I guess I do need to say one more thing before we start. Saturday was supposed to be the first session of the Adventures of Terran Hall. Instead of that, we're going to have it this Saturday night. So, July 3rd, here, 9 Israel time, which is our new permanent show time, or at least permanent for the summer, for the next few months, at least going forward. 9 Israel time, 7 GMT, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And that is going to be a new adventure, a choose-your-own-adventure game that is going to be improvised and written by myself. It's not going to be read out of a book like the previous show, the previous Saturday show. It's going to be an actual role-play session. I'm going to GM it. I'm going to write the adventures, write the foes, the NPCs, and you, the audience, are going to be the hero. You're going to make choices for the hero kind of the same way you made choices for the hero in the Crown of Kings quadrology, the sorcery game books that we did all throughout the last couple of months. And that's going to be what we're going to have this Saturday. The Adventures of Terran Hall is going to start with its first session. So if you want to see the character sheet, the character that I planned, what this person is, what they can do, and what the first challenge, the first adventure you're going to have with this person is, it's all going to unfold this Saturday. Also, if the music is too loud, tell me. I don't think it is right now. I'm not writing a book. I'm writing an adventure, a bunch of adventures. So it's not going to be a game book, like a choose your own adventure book. It's not going to be like that. I'm going to write an actual adventure, like a regular roleplay adventure, for one character, one hero, and then you're going to play that hero in this adventure. So it's going to be much more freeform, much more freestyle than the books, because it's not just going to be 3 choices. It's going to be much more improvised and freestyle as you play it. Alright, if you want to find out more, tune in on Saturday, because we need to start this. We need to get this ball rolling. Yeah, we'll do this right now. Let's go to this screen where you can see the guidelines, which are the same every week. Sit Still, Behave, and Trina Boy, the two of you have already seen these guidelines. You know exactly what it's like. This time it's magic items. Variety is very, very good. You can make it weird. Start this die rolling. Yes, exactly. We'll get this die rolling. We don't need to write everything down. We can leave open trailing edges for me and the players to write and to complete, like in the middle of the session and throughout the game, right? So it's always an option not to write every little detail and every little story or history in the story and the features of this magic item. We just need to write as much as we need to make it interesting and cool and useful in the game for the players. Hello, Sideshow Paradox. Nice to see ya. It's really nice to see you here in the channel. If it's your first time, then what we're doing tonight, Mondays usually is Questions of Yalpul, or an actual play. We're playing a fantasy game, me and my 4 improviser friends as the players. But tonight we're writing magical items. There's a little bit of a bug going on, apparently, a continent-spanning bug that affects people from different countries at the same time. So for some reason, many of us are down and ill. I'm a little recovering from a little bit of a bug that I caught myself, and that means that we're doing what we used to do on Saturday nights. We're doing here and Monday night instead. Where are you from, Sideshow Paradox? I'd love to know a little bit more about you. Are you a role player? Do you play anything right now? Please write it down in chat and we'll read it. So this is the list of things that I want to write. You see it right in front of you. A Death Knight's Regalia is the first thing. It's actually from the UK. Cool, nice to see you. So for you, it's 7, a little bit after 7 p.m. We're going to go for about 2 hours, probably till about 9 your time. And we're going to try to write as many magical items as possible to have a good long list of magical items for my players to gain in adventures, and for you to be able to use in your own games if you're a game master or a writer of any sort. So a Death Knight's Regalia. Aklis is one of the characters. Aklis is a Death Knight. What exactly it means to be a Death Knight was determined to have several attributes, several features of being a Death Knight. It means wearing a dark armor oh, Sally joined as well. Hey Sally, cool. Sorry to hear about your game, Sideshow Paradox. I mean, all the games fall apart now. People play online on Zoom or whatever now just to be able to play something. We had months here in Israel where we couldn't leave the house. We had lockdown after lockdown. Yeah, it can be hard. Cough number 3. So I want my player, Talia, Atlas's player, to go on the hunt, on quests, to find different pieces of the Death Knight's regalia. It needs to be tied to the history of the family. It needs to be like a historic bunch of historic artifacts. And the reason this is important is because I know Talia will enjoy it. They'll just have fun doing it. I know the whole group will go with them. They'll go along to find these magical items. And I know it'll be very, very fun to tie in family drama and family history from Aklis's storied history in order to to provide more story and backstory to these adventures instead of just being a treasure hunt, right? So it's going to be very easy for me to inject more story into these adventures and tie it into what's going on in the family right now. There's lots of rivalry going on. Already a lot of ideas here, so let's start writing it down. This is the part where you start making suggestions, right? You can suggest anything you want. So we have some suggestions: crown, scepter, talisman, ring, mask. Those are really cool suggestions. Aklis already has, right? Let's write it down. Aklis already has. First of all, they have a cool black breastplate and skull helmet. Okay, so these are things Aklis already has. They have it. They just bought them in stores, found them in antique shops, and they're wearing them, and they're looking very cool wearing these pieces of armor. Also, Aklis has a transforming sword named Transformer. The cat is on the desk, bothering me again. Named Transformer. Each item is cursed unless you have the set. That is very cool. Let's write down this idea. It can't work exactly as you wrote it because Aklis already has two pieces of the set, and they haven't been cursed up till now. There was no curse. So some of the other items could be cursed. So transforming sword named Transformer, which can change into, the cat is moving the screen. Cat. Go away, cat. Okay, I'm gonna have to move the cat away. Say hi to the cat. Look how feisty he is. Goodbye, cat. The cat is showing. Look at that. The cat is showing the edge of the green screen. All right. So, I'm behind on all the writing. You have more ideas. So Transformer can change into different weapons. Okay, so it's usually a sword. It's naturally a sword, but it can change into any other kind of weapon that it wants. And a magical magical scabbard, which is the house of Transformer, which is very motherly and averse to violence, is what I'm gonna describe it as being. We still don't have any, let's say, very protective, motherly, and averse to violence. We still don't have any magical properties for that scabbard, so that's something else that we're gonna have to write. How is the scabbard magical? Other items, a cloak. Yeah, Talia said that they wanted a cloak. That's true. So let's add cloak. And brooch can be separate from a cloak. It can be part of the cloak, or it can be a separate magical item. Cats don't bother. Cats bother all the time. Just being a cat is very often a bother. Changes how the armor look and votes on the clock. Summon a big black panther. Cool. Make the armor have horns, have a poisonous aura. And Nuyasha, there's a super defensive scabbard. Maybe the scabbard has a force shield. Oh, it summons a shield. That could be cool. Okay, so these are very, like, lots of ideas. Oh, I would like there to be a quiver. I would like there to be a quiver, actually, for story reasons. So we're actually going to also add a quiver to that. Sorry again. So, the thing that we know about Death Knight things... No, we don't need a bow, because Transformer can become a ranged weapon, and it can become a bow. It just doesn't have arrows. It can't generate arrows. Okay, so it can't just spontaneously generate as many arrows or bolts as you want, but it can become the weapon that shoots out the bolts. Yeah. The scabbard can store more than just a sword. Okay, so let's start with a scabbard. The scabbard, I think, is really cool. It's called... it already has a name, Scabbard the Scabbard. What is going to be its magical property? What can it do? So something either protective, or something else that was suggested here is that it... Oh, the scabbard can be a quiver? The scabbard can be a quiver. That's cool. The scabbard could also be the quiver. Okay, so it can store many things. Yeah, so shield, like generating a shield to protect the user, that was cool. Something else was store extra items, such as arrows. Cool. So that's cool. I think that these two powers are pretty cool. I think I like them. Some items are the good parts of the original Death Knight, non-cursed, and the others are the sins, cursed parts. That's very cool. Yes. Let's write that down. Some items are from the good side, from the good, not exactly the good side, the good phase of the historic Death Knight. Others are from the evil phase, and they are cursed initially. Alright, initially or permanently. Cool. Now, cursed in my game is never going to be that the item is just a burden, right? It's not going to be like 100% bad. It's always going to be useful, maybe even very powerful, but it might carry a disadvantage with it, right? It might have a curse alongside the useful powers. Okay, so that's how I interpret a curse in my games usually. Okay, so the scabbard was a sword in the past, but it was defeated by the Transformer. Maybe they were once a single weapon and was reforged into a scabbard. Cool. They were a single weapon, and they were. By the way, Transformer. Another very important fact about Transformer was blessed and transcribed on by Death itself. Okay, Death itself gave a historic Death Knight, which I think maybe that Death Knight is going to be the one. I forget the name. I'm gonna pull out the name in a second, but there is actually a Death Knight whose history we told. We actually had a flashback going back to the first Death Knight, and Transformer was the sword of that Death Knight, and then. After that person became the first Death Knight, Death themselves gave Transformer their power, their name, and a transcription on it. The transcription reads, "There are no second chances with death. Dash love Transformer." That's the inscription for real. That's seriously the inscription that Transformer had. Oh, the transcription split Transformer into two parts. Wow. Okay, so Transformer can change. Transformer can change. That means that Scabbard the Scabbard needs to have a power that doesn't, that keeps things the same, right? That is like stasis. because it was split from Transformer. It means that the two powers need to be complementary in a way, right? I think. Or maybe if Transformer can change into different weapons, yeah, it keeps things together. Exactly. I like that line of thinking, right? I think it should be what Shabber does. You want you could have the final part to be finishing the last thing that the Death Knight was meant to do. Finishing the last thing the Death Knight was meant to do. Nice. So, yeah, I mean, it's gonna have to become a whole quest of following in the footsteps of the Death Knight. It holds things inside, and maybe it can also heal divine souls. What does that mean, Sally? What does that mean, heal divine souls? What do you mean by healing the souls? I'm curious to hear. Okay. So, I mean, a broken soul split apart. Okay, it puts things back together. Okay, so instead of protective, let's remove the protective thing. I think can store extra items. Can store extra items. Let's just say can store any weapon inside it. Okay, let's just keep it focused on weapons. It's not just a general bag of holding. It's gonna be like something that can store any kind of weapon inside it. Okay. Hello, Tim, Prodigal Sorcero, the Prodigal Sorcero. Nice to see you. You have stumbled upon a magic item writing session. Usually on Mondays we're playing Questers of Yalpalor, and today, because many people were sick, including myself, and some of the players were unavailable for other reasons, we had to cancel the episode and do what we usually did on the Saturday streams in the previous month, which is writing stuff for the campaign. We're writing magical items, and then these items are going to be available for everyone to use. I'm going to put them up on a drive somewhere online. I'm going to put a link somewhere in the channel description, and that's going to be a little later. And you're all going to have access to all the monsters and quests and magical items that we're writing, so we can all use them in your games. It fixes things. That's cool. Yeah, you put something in Shabbat, it can become whole. So it can store, so maybe not just any weapon, it can store other items inside it. Anything put inside Shabbat becomes whole again. It fixes things. I really like that. I really like that idea. That's very cool. Alright, nice. Tim, tell us where you're from, please. Would like to know. Where do you come from in the world? How did you hear about us? And, hey, oh, thanks for the raid, Secret Cabin. Nice. Say hi, everyone who joined. We're in the middle of, we're in the middle of, thank you for the raid. North Carolina. Oh, nice. So what time is it for you? Is it 1:30 in North Carolina, I think? Or 2:30? Nice. Hey, everyone. So we're designing a full regalia for a Death Knight. So the Death Knight is named Aklis. It's part of my ongoing campaign on Monday nights, which is usually now. It's happening usually now. Today we're writing magical items for the campaign instead. This time, or this part of the stream is going to be for the Death Knight. Yeah. Shabbat is actually a Hebrew original word. Shabal. How is Shabbat in Hebrew? I don't. Oh, the Shabal. Yeah, that's true. But it's anti breaking things. It's putting things back together. Yeah. So I have a Death Knight character. It is true. That's very, very cool. Secret Cabin. Thank you again for the raid. And they are amazingly cool. We've been through some adventures together. I'm not gonna say the whole thing, but the coolest thing about the Death Knight is that it comes with a whole history. That's the way that my player wrote it. They wrote the Death Knight as a person who has like a storied. So it's not exactly like WoW. They're not undead. They're alive, but they have like a kind of like a paladin, a death themed paladin. They go around in black armor. They like death related death deathy things. They call it deathy things. In every store they visit, they want to buy something deathy, and then they're trying to do their duty, which is like balancing life and death and keeping order in the world, a world that often devolves into chaos because of all the magic going around. So that's basically what a Death Knight means. Now, what they already have is this cool black breastplate and skull helmet, which are non-magical right now. They have a transforming sword named Transformer. You can see the properties here. And they have Scabbard the Scabbard, a magical scabbard, which is very protective, motherly, and averse to violence. They both talk, by the way. The Transformer and Scabbard, they can both speak. A glove of undeath, a hand that casts spare the dying unendingly. Oh, cool! It keeps people from dying. Let's make it. How about we make it a gauntlet, like an armor gauntlet? That could be cool, right? I'll write glove/gauntlet. Cool. Okay, so we know about Scabbard now. We gave Scabbard a magical power. Scabbard the Scabbard can store other items inside it, and whatever you put in Scabbard the Scabbard, it becomes whole again. It would fit his armor. Yeah, it would fit their armor. It's true. They would. I mean, I think Talia would be happier with something that like completes the full plate armor look. Upsetting the balance. Oh, keeping things from dying. Yeah, it's true. As long as you're not actually dead, though, it means that, yeah, I mean, it doesn't actually stop you from dying if you take mortal wounds. It might just keep you from dying if you've just been, you've been stabbed, you're bleeding out. Maybe it just gives you more resilience against just dying. The gauntlet is made from the hand of a giant. Oh, cool. So let's write down the gauntlet. That's cool. Gauntlet. Where's my spelling today? Okay, so gauntlet. Made from the hand of a giant. So it's big, like it could be worn as an armored glove, but it doesn't need to look like plate. So the hand of a, let's say like a metallic or a rocky giant, right? So when the hand was cut off, or the hands were cut off and made into a gauntlet, it means that metallic bone white. Oh, I'll write down white with a question mark because the armor is generally black. White is kind of gonna make it look like a suit with white gloves, which is very cool and fancy, but I don't know if it's gonna be Talia's vibe. So that's a good, I don't know. Golem. Oh, golem. Yes, for a metallic or a rocky golem is even better than a giant. I think, yeah, I'm not gonna make it white. It's gonna still be like dark gray or black. And then, yeah, it could be made of metal and actually be fashioned into a gauntlet very easily. It would look very clear. Clear? By clear, do you mean like reflective and shiny? Cool. So, what does the gauntlet do? Let's decide on the power, the actual magical power of the gauntlet. How does it help when you wear the gauntlet? It's not serious armor. It doesn't improve your armor in a serious way because it's just gauntlets. I mean, in the real world, gauntlet is armor and it's useful as armor. But I think in the game it should be more of an interesting, cool power that helps you in an adventure. We have metallic bones that illuminate when casting Spare the Dying. It looks like Death's skeletal hand coming to spare the dying. Ooh, you reach with it, right? It becomes like a skeletal Death's hand, and that's the white part. That's what the white thing is. Okay, so it stabilizes dying characters. If it was D&D 5th edition, it would be Spare the Dying. Okay, so we're not playing D&D 5th edition, but if you're adapting this to your 5th edition game, then yes, Spare the Dying is awesome. Oh, nice. Yes. When you use this power, your hands become white skeletal hands, and then you need to reach out or point at the target of the spell. Nice. Or let's call it the power. That's very cool. So you can just... You need to reach out. Oh, so you need to reach out at the target of the spell, the target of the power. The skeletal hand detaches for a second and touches the target. Nice. So your hands become like they shrink to a skeletal hand, and it detaches and reaches over to the person that you're targeting with the power. Now, Sit Still Behave says something very true, which you started to say before, the fact that it should be limited in a way, because Death Knights are not supposed to just keeping... thanks for the follow, Tim. Thank you very much. Death Knights don't just keep everyone alive all the time, right? Death Knight should respect death. And if someone's time to die has come, then the Death Knight needs to respect that. And I think that when... Yeah, I love the image too. The visual is really, really good. I agree, Secret Cabin. Completely agree. Building 2 campaigns myself. One is currently called the Death Zone, another is the Tomb of Annihilation. Well, then death-related things is going to be very cool. There's going to be very cool items for both of these campaigns, I think. Tomb of Annihilation, I'd like to hear about how it goes when you actually start running it. It's a very elaborate campaign from what I heard. I never played or ran it or even read the book. When you use it, a part of you remains skeletal. You absorb death into you. Oh, wow. Mercy killing. Oh, Tim, that's nice. That's a nice balance. That's a nice balance. You can spare the dying. If you, as a Death Knight, you judge that it's not someone's time to die, you can spare them. But then you need to give a life in return to death, right? You have a debt of a life. And you can do a mercy killing. If someone deserves to die, you can kill them with the skeletal hands. Nice. Okay, so second power, mercy killing. Kill someone who's already dying, right? You can just kill someone. You can't just kill someone willy-nilly. You just decide to kill a person and just reach out and they'll die. The person already has to be like on their way to die, and you have to kill them as a mercy or an act of like either mercy or I'm looking for the word like judgment, or I think judgment is good. Like either a mercy or a judgment, someone that really like deserves to die, that it's the right thing to kill that person or for the person to be dead, so you can kill them. Now, if you have done one of these more than the other, there is an imbalance. Now you need to tell me, and we need to write together. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Nice. So more and more parts of you are skeletal. The more imbalance there is, the more skeletal you become. And I think I'm going to add that this imposes penalties, first of all, to your charisma. Yeah, exactly. You lose stats. They lose stats the more skeletal they become. It's they, by the way. It's not he, because another death fact in our campaign is that death has no gender. So all Death Knights are genderless, which is another very cool feature I really like. Remaining skeletal reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you stay skeletal and you become more and more skeletal. That's like the curse. Since it would lose strength as no muscle. Oh, so you lose strength as well. So at least your charisma, right? At least penalties to your charisma, because you start becoming skeletal and looking like a skeleton. So imposing penalties to charisma, maybe to constitution or strength, right? Because you become skeletal, you lose maybe some power. I don't know. Lose spell slots. If it's D&D, 5e. In a 5e game, you could lose spell slots or uses of powers, class powers, right? So I'm gonna add it to the write-up. If someone's gonna adapt it to 5e, you can use that mechanic that you can actually lose some uses of your power. Charisma, con, and strength. I might remove strength from this. Strength might be too evil. Charisma means that it's harder for you to interact with living beings, which makes a lot of sense. Just lose persuasion or positive style charisma. If a skillful person told me to do something in an intimidating way, I'd be more intimidated by them. Oh yeah, so intimidation gains a plus, persuasion gains a minus. Yeah, true. Just consider the system that I'm running on the Monday show as an old school D&D lookalike. I'm running Macchiato Monsters. You can find it for a couple of dollars, I think, or like $5 online, and pretty easily. I'm pretty sure. Zohara FB, nice to see you in the channel, first of all, and you ask a really good question. How do you decide if someone is dying? I think that this needs to be a judgment call on the player's part. The Death Knight's character needs to know what that means. Yeah, I realize some of you probably didn't play old school Dungeons & Dragons, like pre-3rd edition is what I'm talking about. But just imagine a very bare bones, unintended, a version of Dungeons & Dragons. Like there's the stats and there's attacks, and each character class has some abilities and spells, but it's not as well defined as in 3rd edition. It's a lot more like the main attribute, I think, of old school gaming as far as the mechanics are involved, are as far as the mechanics are like the difference is that different things have different rules. Like every different power, every different mechanic has its own rule written down. Not everything is as highly standardized as it is in 3rd and 5th edition. That's the main difference. But I'm gonna write down some 5e and 3rd edition interpretations of these powers as well. Because if you lose spell slots or powers, like uses of your daily powers, that could be a big, pretty hefty price. So that's the gauntlet. I think that's the gauntlet. Yeah, you have to do it on feeling. You have to yeah, they're just gonna lose either stat bonuses, which is what is gonna happen in my game. They're just gonna lose their stat bonuses slowly, or in more advanced systems like 3rd or 5th edition, they could be losing spell slots or use of class powers. That's what they're gonna gradually lose as the imbalance grows and they become more and more skillful. Okay. Sit Still Behave again with the responsible, well-rounded suggestions. Maybe a different part of the regalia can help tell how close people are to the right time to die. That could be a cool suggestion. On the one hand, that's very cool, and that will definitely help the player. On the other hand, it might be a cop-out because I might want them to actually make judgment calls, and pay for their decisions. Okay, but I think this is a good time to proceed to a different item. So let's decide. We wanted to create a crown or a scepter, talisman, ring, mask, cloak, brooch, or quiver. These are the other suggestions for the regalia. I want at least 2 other items. And actually, I didn't write the most important one. The most important one. Plate armor parts. Okay, because right now Aklis already has that's right, you forgot that I want to be evil, an evil mastermind with my players. Exactly. I want to have them make tough choices. But let's write an item that does that. Definitely. We can write an item that does that lets you see how close a creature is to death. Like a measure. Give you a measure of how close to death they are. Okay, so plate armor parts are very important because an armor is part of the regalia. It has to be part of the regalia of the Death Knight. And right now, what they have is a breastplate and some plates on their arms and legs and a cool skull helmet. But it's not a full plate set. Okay, and I want them to find a full plate set at some point. We could just wear a whole plate armor. I don't like the idea of a whole plate armor. I think your talisman should transform the whole armor. Oh, that could be a magical item that actually transforms your armor into a plate armor, or like the Iron Man. You know, Iron Man move can just form the armor around your body in the middle of a fight. Tin says, Quiver. Use the remains of those who have passed and allows specialty arrows to be used, each with a drawback, but the strength allows the DM to have a lot of creativity. Allows the players as well to have a lot of creativity. I like that. So, okay, so I suggested the Quiver allow remains of dead creatures to be formed into specialty arrows. That's really cool. We'll deepen that in a second. I also want to write down the mask grants you telepathy or illusion. That's interesting. Mask, telepathy or illusion, perhaps. That could be cool. Oh, nice, Secret Cabin. I like that. I really like Macchiato Monsters. I like how simple it is on the one hand. It's really simple. And on the other hand, it gives the players a lot of room for creativity. I was actually kind of surprised by how quickly my players really latched on to making up their own cool abilities and spells. Especially the freeform magic system is like so cool. It's like a freestyle magic system where you can just make spells on the fly. There's some like basic rules on how to cast the different spells, and you can just make a spell in the middle of a fight. They say, you know, I have lava magic, so I want to be able to make a lava arrow and a lava wave and a lava summoning, or like they can do like lots of different cool little spells. Fighters are really cool. Everything is like works really well in this system. I want the ring to do something about identity. It has to confirm your truth. Identity. Ring has something to do about identity. That's cool. Monster building. Tim, I did quite a few monster building sessions. If you scroll down and you click on the YouTube link, on the YouTube panel, you'll go to the YouTube channel where we have all of the previous shows, lots and lots of other shows. The category RPG, RP General, I think just RP General category or something. It has all of our writing sessions, and quite a few of these are monster writing sessions. We wrote swamp monsters, desert monsters, and chaos monsters. There were 3 monster writing sessions, and there's probably going to be more. Yeah, so you can take all of these ideas for yourself. Unfortunately, they're still not up comfortably, like edited and documented. It's still a plan I have to just put them all up and have them all available for all of you to download and just use in your games. But I haven't edited and like put it all up in writing. So you can just skip through the videos, go to the YouTube videos and skip through and see all the things that we designed there. Sally says, if you activate it, you can find truth, but others find your lies. That is very cool, but very complicated. How does that work mechanically, I wonder? Still behave. Oh, if they find the mask in a trap, they can call back its... Find the mask in the trap that can call back its victims. Maybe they can create illusions of people they've met or have killed. Oh, create illusions of people that you've killed. That's how the trap managed it. The item... Oh, the trap we designed in the Chaos Monster. Oh, wow. In the trap, the monster is actually the mask. Telepathy or illusion. Okay. Consider the duties of the Death Knight. Okay, consider the duties of the Death Knight. Death Knights have to go around, often alone, in the world. They're often alone. They walk around looking for areas of undeath or necromancy, where things are out of balance between life and death. There are forces of order, which means they have to keep the natural order of things. What kind of items will help them do that? Okay, so the quiver is really cool. I like the fact that remains of dead creatures can be formed as specialty arrows. That's actually enough. That's kind of enough for me. But I also think that we can maybe also make it a little bit deeper, deepen it into something that's more... like has more hooks and suggestions of how to use it. Mask is not clear to me yet. How does the mask help a Death Knight? Okay, the ring, you can activate it to find truth. If anyone would lie, the ring would become warmer. Also, you could ask about things in general to find hidden things. But Sally's leaving us hanging with a cliffhanger. Through the whole day, people will see through your lies that you tell. Okay, so you see truth, you see through lies, but also you cannot lie. That's very simple. That's very simple. You see through lies, but you cannot lie yourself. Ring. Actually, it should be a signet ring, right? A cool signet ring, because it's Death Knight regalia. Yeah, you cannot lie. Cool. So, when activated, you can see lies throughout the day. Until, let's say, you can see lies. What is going to be the time frame? Decide for me what the time frame for that is going to be, the effect. You can see lies for, I don't know, however long, but for this period you cannot lie yourself. Again, I'm going to write in 5e or in more advanced like systems in general. You might want to make this a saving throw similar to the spell Zone of Truth. You know how Zone of Truth, the second level cleric and paladin spell, gives you a charisma saving throw to be able to lie anyway when you're in the Zone of Truth. So we can just activate a Zone of Truth around you, which affects you as well. The highest moon, when the moon looks upon you from the middle sky. So it's like a month or a few weeks is going to work. I think that's too much. The mask helps create distractions when you're in danger or lure enemies, and it's also like a history that can be checked when you go home. Time frame up to an hour or so makes sense to me. It is daily. Oh, so until the moon is up in the sky, not the full... Yeah, sorry, I interpreted it as like the full moon or the... Yeah, okay, so not necessarily a specific moon phase. Yeah, until the moon is in the sky. Okay, so you can see lies until the next moon zenith. Like when the moon is at the top point in the sky, but you cannot lie yourself for this period. Nice. So if you do it right before the moon zenith, it's just going to be, you can time it so it's going to be for a few minutes for one conversation. But if you do it in the morning, it might take a while, it might take hours until the next time the moon rises. Okay, the mask helps create distractions when you're in danger or lure enemies. The mask, I think, should be related to the fact that it's usually hidden. It's usually hidden underneath the skull helmet. And Death Knights, they have a thing. Death Knights have a thing where they do not show their faces to anyone. The other members of the group, there are 4 heroes, right, in my group, and only one of them, other than the Death Knight, has seen their face at all. So 2 of them haven't seen their face in this campaign at all. They've been adventuring for weeks together. So the mask needs to be something that's underneath the armor, the skull helmet that they're wearing right now. And when they take off the skull helmet, it reveals the mask. And I think the mask should be, like, activating the mask should be like revealing it and letting other people see what is... Anyone who... The mask is the most powerful. Anyone who looks at it is in danger. Okay, cool idea. It calls death into you. Oh, okay. Actually, it curses you. Like, it dooms you. When you look at the mask, when you see the mask looking at you, you are doomed. You know that you're doomed to death. Very nice. Yes, and also the one wearing it is gone for a few minutes. Gone? Oh, the mask makes you invisible. That's quite a few powers. The foreign power takes over their... Oh, no, they're not invisible. A foreign power takes over their body. Oh, shit. That's a whole thing. That's a whole... My lord. You literally become death. I see. Well, okay. Let's write that down, Sally. Shall we? Mask. When you reveal it to another living thing, that person, what exactly happens? You become death, and then that person meets death, right? They meet death. Make a I think a charisma check. If successful, if you're successful, the target sees their death vision. If unsuccessful, that person, if unsuccessful, you are taken over by death, which yeah, exactly. You don't want to do it with someone you maybe trust or you like, or you don't want them to die anytime soon. But we're gonna see their death vision. If unsuccessful, you are taken over by death, which then stays for as long as it takes them, death has no gender, takes them to strike a deal with the target. Alright, so that's basically, I just wanted to make it a little bit more dramatic and unpredictable, because if it's gonna be so powerful, there needs to be some element of unpredictability in it, right? There needs to be some element of unpredictability. You can't just, otherwise Atlas will just go around using it as a weapon whenever they want. They'll just reveal it to anyone they come across, any fight they have, whatever, right? So we want it to be possible for them to get, like, not exactly the result that they were hoping for. Okay, so you make a charisma check. If you're successful, the target sees their death vision. If unsuccessful, you are taken over by death, which then stays for as long as it takes them to strike a deal with the target. And then, yeah, then it releases you and you become the Death Knight again. That's very cool. That's very, very nice. Nice. I like it. So, I like that. So that's definitely one of the cursed items, right? That's one of the cursed items. We said some of these items are going to be a little bit more difficult to use because they're cursed. They're part of the bad part. They were created as part of the more dubious part of the historic Death Knight that wore this regalia in their life. So now that's definitely going to be part of the cursed set of items. Yep, yeah, they cannot abuse this item for too much, because at some point, like very quickly, death is just gonna take control of them and have its way in the scene. Okay, so quiver is nice. I want the quiver to be cursed as well. How can we make the quiver cursed? Could it be stolen by a chaos monster, and when it's killed, it turns out their death vision was the questers killing it? It has been stolen by a chaos monster, and when it's killed, it turns out their death vision was the questers killing it. Oh, I see. Okay. When this item is found, the creature wearing or otherwise using it has had their death vision reveal that they will be killed by the heroes. I love that. That's very cool. So when they see the heroes, they're frightened, they're scared shitless, because they know that this is the death vision was these 4 creatures. That's really cool. I love it. Okay, the quiver transforms life into weapons. The life is angry. When using the quiver, you roll a chance to have a ghost after you. Oh man, Sally, your ideas are cool, but they're too complicated. Let's make it simpler. Let's make it simpler. When you use the quiver, you pay something, you lose something, or you become, like, you change a little bit. Something little, like a little thing happens. Maybe you just need to put some of your own life essence into it, or your, I don't know, it just damages you. It just damages you. A memory. Ow. Interesting. Something simpler than that. Something simpler than that. It's very cool, but it doesn't sound like just one of a set of items. Put effort in controlling the arrow. Cool. So what does that effort translate into? What does that mean? How does that feel? Is that pain? Is that pain, or is this like lots of concentration is needed? Mm-hmm. Lots of concentration and skill. The arrow has their own will, you roll against it. Interesting. So you roll to hit anyway. When you shoot, you roll to hit in any case, right? So you fail, the arrow will fly. Oh, I see. Okay, nice. Nice. Okay, so that's kind of a combination of, Sally, what you're saying is also taking like sit still behave suggestion, I think, and making it into something that's like more specific, right? When you shoot these arrows, they will certainly find a living target. If your roll misses, the GM chooses who the arrow hits. Yep, that's a cursed quiver. Nice. I like that. I very much like that. So we have a bunch of cool items now. A gauntlet, a mask, a ring, and a quiver. Really nice. If you fail, it will fly where it wants. Yep, exactly. So, cool. Now we need a cape. Yeah, a cloak. I want a magical cloak because Talia specifically asked for a cloak. They wanted a cloak to be one of the items. Let's do a cloak. What does the cloak do? A cloak can summon shadow. Nice. Good direction. Where did everybody else go, by the way? We had a lot of cool people join from the raid. If you're still there. Secret Cabin, Tim, and a bunch of other people. Peanut Boy probably went to sleep, right? It's the middle of the night already. Shadow with mass. Yeah, physical shadow. The cloak can summon shadow. There's a classic magic item, an armor of etherealness, which is, no, you're speaking fine. I want other people to speak more. I want other people to have more ideas, not to you have less. Always flaps even without wind. So that goes in, definitely. That's very... Okay, just remember that being a Death Knight is half drama. Half of it is the pose. Like being cool while you're doing what you're doing. Okay, so first of all, always flaps even without wind. Very cool. Nice. Yeah, great minds. Thank you for the follow, Hast3110. Thank you very much. Greetings. I'm doing quite well, Hast. Nice to see you. How did you find us and where are you from, Hast? Please tell us a little bit about yourself. What is your roleplay background and where are you in the world right now? The flapping occurs even when you don't mean it. Can get frustrating sometimes. Can give random advantage or disadvantage in dramatic situations. Give fly speed for one turn like an eagle barbarian. Oh, you can yeah, you can fly for short durations for a few seconds every time. That's cool. I was just thinking of the armor of etherealness. The armor of etherealness is like a heavy plate armor in many versions of Dungeons & Dragons. I think from the very old school days it existed, at least from 3rd edition. The armor of etherealness is like a heavy plate armor, but it can make you ethereal a few times a day. You can become ethereal, which means you can go through walls and doors, just walk through barriers. So that's very cool. Repeating because reason, if you have the brooch, you can control the flapping. Oh, nice. So the brooch is like the control. It's like Shabard. It's like Shabard the Transformer is going to be the brooch of the cloak. Brooch can control the cloak's flapping. Nice. Been playing 5e mostly, but have played 1st edition, 3.5, and 5e. Nice. So you've played old school D&D, which is the system we're writing for right now. I'm trying to write 5e versions of the mechanics as well. Our game on Monday nights, which is usually now, our usual game is Macchiato Monsters, which is an old school game, like in the style of old school D&D. Sword of Bluntness. It does 1d10 of bludgeoning damage, and while wielding it, you can get disadvantage on deception. Sword of Bluntness. Lovely. If the cloak is shadow, how about the brooch has a flash of light once a day or so? Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So wait, let's make the... Okay. While wearing the cloak, you can become a shadow. I like to have something in the style of something in the style of the armor of etherealness. I wanted the cloak to be something like that. You can become a shadow while being a shadow. You can move stealthily, fit into narrow cracks, and chill living things. Yes, yeah, you can walk through shadows, right? As long as it's like shadowy around you or dark, you're practically invisible. I've also given the party a ring of sleep. You may cast sleep once a day, but the caveat is the caster also falls asleep. Brilliant. Brilliant. I love it. Nice to see you, Hast. Really nice to meet you. Join our magical item writing session. We have about an hour to go. About 50 minutes at least. If we go strong, I might go longer than an hour. You're from Svalbard, just south of the North Pole. I'm going to Google Maps that very soon. Old school, do you mean mathematically confusing? I mean in the style of the first editions of Dungeons & Dragons from the 70s and 80s. It's actually, mathematically, it's simpler than 5th edition. You know, in 5th edition, you have to remember all kinds of conditions. You have to have, like, a good memory and know what the difference between stunned and paralyzed and stuck It is way north. It is way north, and it's very, very far to the north. Yeah. So, just to answer your question, Zohara FB, if I'm pronouncing your name right, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right. It's actually mathematically was very simple. Nice. So that's what old school means. Old school also means that it's not going to be past 3110. I am. Good. So it's good to know. But just Hast is okay as well. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to call you. I'm just going to call you Hast. Okay. Yeah, we're writing the brooch and the cloak. So now if the cloak is a shadow, a thing of shadow, the brooch can emit powerful flashes of light. Can light areas and temporarily blind enemies, right? Temporarily blind enemies. I think that makes sense. Yes. Counts as sunlight and repels undead. Yes, that makes perfect sense, of course. Light that can also go through walls, like an X-ray. Perhaps the brooch flashes patterns of lights, so the cape is forced to behave in a certain way. It can flash a shape, and force the cape to behave. Can control the cloak's flapping through flashing light in specific shapes. I love it because the sword and scabbard that we already have up there, I'm going to show you I think we're right about done with the Death Knight's Regalia. We wrote a lot, and I want to write other magic items as well. But I'll just say that I really, really like that many of these items can have a very clear personality, because I think they're all going to be speaking. They're all going to be intelligent items, because the sword and scabbard that Aklis already has, they are talking, and they have a relationship between them. Probably. And the way you find the stream is going that have campaign preparation. Oh, cool, nice. I think it's probably the first time I've used this tag ever. I've done quite a few of these writing sessions. It's the first time I've used this tag, so thank you. I really like hearing that. It's very useful information for me for the future. Okay. I mean, they'll have to find all these items through challenges. It's all going to be like quests and stuff. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so now we're gonna take stock of these items that we wrote. There's quite a few of these. So let's go over them again, especially for the benefit of anyone who just joined. Okay? Aklis the Death Knight currently has a cool black breastplate and a skull helmet, which are non-magical. But I think I still want them to keep these items and not replace them with something else. A transforming sword named Transformer, which can change into different weapons. Transformer was blessed and transcribed on by death itself. There are no second chances with death. Love, Transformer. This is the inscription. It's a comedy game. It makes sense if you watched it. Magical scabbard called Shabbard the Scabbard, which is very protective of both Transformer and Aklis. It's very motherly and protective towards both of them, treating them like it's children, and very averse to violence. Shabbard the Scabbard, we now designed it today. We decide what the power of the item is going to be. It can store other items inside it. Anything put inside Shabbard becomes whole again. So if you put a broken weapon or a broken item inside Shabbard, it becomes whole once again. Oh, Haas, I enjoy making cursed items. My players found a wand of mass healing word with a caveat. It only healed within a 20-foot radius from a designated point. Wand of mass healing word and fireball. 50-50 chance of casting fireball and mass healing word. Perfect. Nice. Parental. Yes, parental is better than motherly. Yes. Very good. Thank you, Sister Behave. Crown and Scepter. I think the Crown and Scepter, we're just not going to design these items for now. I think they're probably, it's going to be too much. It's going to be too many items to design all of these. Oh, the plate armor parts, though. The actual plate armor, like the full plate armor, I want that to be one of the items. I want the plate armor parts. Please tell me what the plate armor does. A full black plate armor with gothic decoration. I like the idea of the armor being a second form. A second form is cool. What is the second form going to be? Give me ideas, people. Dear viewers, tell me what these different Talisman of Tallest Man. When wearing the amulet, become a tall man. It's pretty humorous. I like that. Talisman, tall as man. Horns, natural horns, and is made of black bone. I mean, you already become a skeleton from the gauntlet, right? The gauntlet makes you into a skeleton. Maybe made of grave soil. Oh, grave soil. The armor is made of grave soil, like of earth? That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool thing. I mean, that's charisma and intimidation in battle for sure. It adds charisma and intimidation in battle. Okay, okay. Iron from grave soil. Oh, iron from grave soil. I see. Iron that's been, like, extracted. Black plate armor. Made from iron, extracted from grave sites. Yeah, it adds charisma and intimidation in battle. Lets you intimidate with advantage. Yeah, it just lets you intimidate with advantage. It's a very simple power. Easy to use, easy to describe. Ebony armor made by using bone coal. Charcoal is bones of humans used by Viking smiths. Oh shit, yes! Made from bone coal. Bone coal. Charcoal with human bones. Oh yes. That's awesome. That is kick-ass. Let's edit this a little bit. Be a little bit more easily readable. Also gets stronger the more people you kill in it. It gives the literal chill of death. Ooh, yes. Gives the literal chill of death. I think improving these items, I want to leave it to the game, to what happens in the game, because I think they'll all... It's like, okay, have any of you played Diablo or one of these computer games, like these computer role-playing games where you collect sets of armor and weapons, and like specific sets have different numbers of items, and when you collect more and more of them, then you get larger bonuses? Right, so you can have, for example, the suit of armor and the shield and the helmet and the hammer of a legendary dwarf king of some sort, or like the crown of the dwarf king, and the boots and like the different pieces of armor and weapons that the dwarf king used. And if you just have the hammer, then it's like a powerful hammer. It has some bonuses in a fight. But if you have both the hammer and the crown, then both of them become more powerful. Like the charisma bonus from the crown and the attack bonus from the hammer, they both get larger. And then you find the armor, the suit of armor, and all three of the items, they become even more powerful. And then you find the shield, and then you find the boots, and you have all five items. In Diablo, there's lots of playing, like Diablo 2. Last Diablo I played with Diablo 2. There was lots of playing around with these suits, these sets of magic items, and I think it happened also in Dragon Age and some other magical items as well. So I want there to be some advancement, but it probably needs to be tied to how many items in the set Atlas has gathered. Walrus, hey, nice to see you. Hey, it's cool that you've joined us. We have at least 40 more minutes. Past, yes, we understand. Wi-Fi is unreliable sometimes. Yeah, sorry to hear that, but if you disappear and reappear, you're probably not going to miss too much. It's all written on the screen. Walrus, we're writing cool magic items, and right now we're about done. I think we're about done with writing a full regalia of a Death Knight. Yes, that's right, Walrus. We actually delayed the start of the show to 7 your time, 7 Greenwich, 7 GMT. It used to be 6:30 your time. Now we're starting at 7, so now it's 8:30, 8:20 your time. Oh, seriously? You have to have a plane to get to Svalbard? That's amazing. It's one of those islands you have to have a plane to get to. I absolutely love that. 8:20. Yeah, so it's gonna be 7 your time when we start both the Monday shows and the Saturday shows. At least for the summer. Maybe in the winter we'll go back to 6:30 GMT, but right now it's gonna be 7, both on Mondays and Saturdays. Yeah, on Mondays we end within an hour and a half, which means that now we'll be about at the end of the episode. And the Monday shows. 5,000 polar bears, so it's quite a fun place. 2 polar bears per person. You can actually, you do like chariot racing. Like each chariot is tied to 2 polar bears. You can each get 2 polar bears, each person, and then tie it to your chariot. And do racing and gladiator fights in an arena. Just an idea. Little idea that I have because I think that's very cool, so you can go ahead and do that. A polar bear in the game with the name of Haas. That would be cool. That would be very cool. A port and airport in an old hot air balloon field. Well, many different ways to get to Svalbard. You're part of the family, Sit Still Behave. You're the head of the fan club. You're allowed to write we. You're right. You're practically part of the game. You've been watching us for so long. That's very cool. Okay. So, how many items do we have? We have a sword and a scabbard that Atlas already has. Okay, they already have the sword and the scabbard. There's a gauntlet, a signet ring, a cloak, a brooch, a plate armor, like a full plate armor suit, a mask, and a quiver. That's 9 pieces in the regalia, in the Death Knight regalia. 9 is an absolutely meaningless number, which kind of makes me want to stop here. Let's just have it be 9 items. I think 9, it's actually a lot. 9 is actually a lot. I don't know if we need 10. Unless you write an idea in 1 line that I really like. Write down an idea in 1 line that I love, I'm gonna add it. But other than that, I'm gonna go to the next item in the list. Yeah, it could be a significant number for Death Knight. That's cool. We don't know the significance yet, but I'm kind of thinking maybe we keep it mysterious. Oh yeah, sure. Just make the soul of the original owner be the 10th part. Of course, just the soul is the 10th part. You needed to control the whole regalia. Okay, alright. I'm gonna write down soul/body of the, like, I don't know if I want to decide yet, of the original owner. That's true, an odd number for votes. Because this, all pieces, I don't know if you've heard it when I said it, Walrus, but all pieces of this regalia, um, you need to realize that they're all going to be speaking. They're all intelligent. So right now we have two of them, and it already creates quite a bit of drama. When me as game master, I have to play multiple non-player characters arguing with each other and talking to the PCs as it happens. So the more of these pieces Atlas is going to have, the more voices they're going to hear talking around them and giving them advice as a Death Knight. So maybe we keep it at 9 so that when there's a vote, there's never like a tie. But I'm gonna write. There's an idea. I'm gonna write it in the document. That general in the Walrus. Let's just say in this campaign we've discovered that I'm not the best in accents. I'm not the best person to do different accents. I can do different voices. Like each of them can have a different voice, but I don't know if I can make this many accents. So anyway, a soul or the body of the original owner, actually part of the regalia, needs to give their blessing to the current owner, then pass away comfortably to the next, let's call it beyond the veil. All right, that's gonna be the actually like the 10th part of the regalia. Stolus B57, thank you very much for the follow. Hey, if you're with us, join us in the magic item writing session that we're doing right now. Okay, cool. So that's the 10th part of the regalia. So Still Behave is asking for a specific voice borrowed from a different character that she really liked. I might do Hippodillo's voice, the deep Hippodillo voice for other characters. Okay, cool. So we have a Death Knight's regalia. A transforming sword named Transformer. A magical scabbard that fixes broken items when they're placed within it. A gauntlet, which is made from the hand of a metallic golem, which can stabilize dying characters or kill other dying characters. You need to keep it balanced. For each one that you kill, you need to save one other being and to keep the balance between life and death. Otherwise, if there's too much of an imbalance in either direction, you become more and more skeletal and unnerving, like death. You have a signet ring. When you activate it, until the next time the moon is high up in its zenith, in its highest point in the sky, you cannot lie, but you can also see through other people's lies. Cloak, which always flaps around, which might cause embarrassment or maybe help you in some dramatic situations. You can become a shadow while you're wearing this cloak, a black shadow. You mean NPCs, non-player characters, Zohar FB? Because non-player characters we have quite a bit, the rest of the world. Its campaign has been going on for about 35 episodes by now. You can watch all of it on YouTube, and you can see that there's quite a few characters. I mean, I've already introduced a lot of NPCs in this game, so there's quite a bit. If you mean PCs, the hero characters, there's 4. There's 4 players playing 4 hero characters. If you want to watch the game and become part of the Questers of the Altalor family, like Sit Still Behave, and also Sally and some others already are, you can join us on Monday nights. Europe time, that is. It's going to be 9 in Israel, 8 in Central Europe, 7 in the UK. That's the hours where we start on Mondays. Yeah, it's going to be part of Atlas's path to improve. Okay, except for gaining levels, which gives a lot of power in itself, Atlas's way to improve is going to be gaining these items and gaining the powers associated with them, and the duties as well, because it's also becoming a more important and significant death knight. Oh, I think my... Can you hear me better now? Can you hear me better than you did before? I think now I just noticed my mic was connected in some wrong way. Yeah. You can. Okay, so disregard the last hour and a half. My microphone was connected all backwards. Yeah, the players play some other characters as well. There are some non-player characters that the players took over because it's an improv game. It's a game where half of the things that happen are not really planned ahead of time. It's all improvised. So some of the improvisation means that I allow my players to take control of some of the NPCs. Okay, so there's the brooch that can emit powerful flashes of light that repel undead. There's there's a black plate armor, a suit of plate armor parts made from bone coal, which is super cool. Super cool idea made by Hast. It gives people the literal chill of death, which means that you can intimidate them more easily. There's a mask and a quiver, which are cursed items. They are actually cursed. You can reveal the mask to other living things, which makes them see death, which can be either beneficial or very damaging to them or to you and to your goals. It's quite unpredictable what happens when you let death look through your eyes. And there's a quiver, which allows you to make remains of dead creatures into specialty slaying arrows, depending on what kind of creature you feed to the quiver. When you shoot these arrows, because the quiver is cursed, and if you hit, the arrow is going to be a super effective slaying arrow. But if you miss, the arrow is still going to find a living target, just not the one that you wanted. Okay, so that's basically the bunch of items that we created. It's a whole regalia, which I love. I really, really love that. Okay, so that's the Death Knight's regalia. I'm gonna check to see in a second. I'm gonna try to log in and see which what was the name. We have a name for the first Death Knight, like hundreds or thousands or whatever of years ago. We know what the name of that Death Knight was, and I'm gonna pull it out in a second. I'm gonna let you know. Who is this old, long-dead Death Knight who first used these items? Hemlock. The first Death Knight was named Hemlock, which is a very cool name, I think you'll agree. So now, we're gonna dub this Hemlock's Regalia. Nice. The quiver needs to feed. That's a cool idea, but I'm just not going to add any more details, Sally. I'm sorry. You're an endless fountain of good ideas, but at some point you have to stop. And you have to start designing some other... it just can't be left empty. Oh, that's also cool. I'm gonna write it down as a general thing. I'm not gonna make it into a mechanic, because I really think we wrote enough. The quiver is always hungry for souls and does not want to be left empty. That's it. That's it. It's done. It is a hook. It is a hook. It's true. It's exactly what I asked for. See, it's in the guidelines. Hooks and trailing edges. Very welcome. Thank you, Sally and Sit Still Behave, for making another hook that I can later use to fuck with my players' sanity and peace of mind. The fledgling gamer, nice to meet you. Favorite magic item I ever made. Pain of Dyslexia. 4 creatures can be attuned to this pen. Words written by this pen are seen as jumbled words to anyone not attuned to the pen. Oh, cool. That's like a way to write a secret code. Haha. Very nice. Very nice way to design a useful magic item, but the way that it's useful is not super clear to begin with. You know what I mean? So it's not... You have to actually be a little bit creative as to how to actually make it useful. Really nice. Really, really nice. Okay. Let's continue. For anyone who hasn't seen the guidelines yet, you're writing magic items. Guideline number 2. Oh yeah, you're allowed. You're allowed, the fledgling gamer. It's not offensive when you make it. It's your joke. It's your joke. Very good. Yes. Guideline number 2, everything goes. The world of Yalpalor can and does include elements of many other genres and settings. 3, variety is good. Make it weird, funny, eclectic, even nonsensical. However, stay away from wacky randomness. Okay, so don't just include random ideas just for the sake of being random. Try to include some disjointed, eclectic ideas, but try to make it into a whole that makes sense. Something you actually imagine as being cool and nice in the game to use for the players. 4, puns are more than welcome. Self-explanatory. 5, hooks and trailing edges are very welcome, meaning you can leave some things unexplained. You can leave some more work for me or whatever GM is going to use these items, and for the players in the game to write more details and to make it cooler with specific details in while the game is going on, right? So we don't have to explain 100% of the magic item. We just need to make it make sense basically as it is. Okay, so we've done the Death Knight's Regalia. Okay, we've done the Death Knight's Regalia. It's very, very cool. We now have 2 more items I already know are in the game. The players already have them, and I want to know what they do because they haven't investigated them yet, and I haven't written them down. Okay? So the first one is going to be a smallish witch's cauldron. Smallish meaning, you know, no bigger than this. Right? It's not a huge cauldron. It's like a cauldron this size. Looted from the hut of a dead swamp witch, based on Baba Yaga, the Slavic folklore witch. So it's a black iron cauldron, very classic look. 3 little spikes. It stands on 3 spikes, like on the earth or on the ground. We're gonna do the cauldron. We're totally gonna do the cauldron, and later we're gonna do the ocarina. Okay, because they also have a magic ocarina, which we haven't decided what it is yet. Okay, so this... Oh, we're out of space. I need to make more space in the sheet. Talk to me. Tell me. Right. Extra room. Yep, we have extra room. It makes the best goulash soup. Yes. Oh, I love that. Okay, so Buyaba's cauldron. She's called Buyaba because she was shamelessly named after Yubaba from oh shit, what was the name of the movie? The Studio Ghibli. Oh crap. The movie with Yubaba anyway. Baba Yaga's cookest item is a scepter of fire. She gave it to Vasilisa and it burns her family. Well, you can combine the description in the cauldron, but we don't have a scepter of fire. Circlet of retaining, used while sleeping and reroll any insight perception and check you made the day. That may be random. That's perfect as well. You can reroll a check you failed on, and then you realize what you missed the first time, like in the middle of the night. It's this circlet of... It's not retaining, it's the circlet of realizing. It's the circlet of too late. Oh, I love those items. That is so awesome. Fledgling Gamer, tell us where you're from, please. You're obviously a role player, obviously a GM. Tell us where you're from, what kind of games you're playing, how long you've been playing for. We'd love to hear. Okay, so what does the cauldron do? If you know the deja vu, yeah, the circle of deja vu. You can also have the the Talisman of Staircase Wit. You can reroll persuasion and deception checks after the conversation's over. Right? You can reroll a check that you failed in a conversation after the conversation is already over. If you know the incantation, you can make the perfect goulash soup. So that's the first power, and that's awesome. Washington State, been running one-shots lately, but I do have one all Leonin campaign. Nice. All catfolk. The cat game. Cauldron needs to be creepy. I think it needs to cook people's teeth or skulls. I remind you that the witch was a transmutation witch. It changed bodies. It made combinations, unholy, weird combinations from animals' bodies. Can create reagents from the right ingredients. Oh, nice. Create reagents is nice. Creates reagents? Maybe? If you eat the bone soup, you will have mystic knowledge. Can give mystic knowledge. We're brainstorming right now. We're in the brainstorming phase of the writing session, so I wanna transmutation. You can imagine dipping a finger in to taste the soup would result in the finger morphing into a tiny tentacle or something. Oh, it reminds me of the cauldron. All of these magic cauldrons, they're all loosely based on the Dagda's cauldron, the Dagda from Irish folklore. That was a huge cauldron, like person-sized cauldron. You could fit a whole person in there, and it was supposed to bring people back to life. And different interpretations, different retellings of the Irish myth, the cauldron works differently, like a different way. And in many of these stories, the person comes back incomplete in some way. In most of these interpretations, the person comes back incomplete. And in the Disney cartoon show Gargoyles, when they find the cauldron, the story says that if you dip your body in the cauldron, if you go into the cauldron, you will live as long as the mountains. And eventually what they discover is that you become stone. If you dip whatever body part you put in the cauldron becomes stone. So you are going to last as long as the mountain, but you're actually just going to be a statue. And they find it when, like, a servant character, like a very faithful servant to the master, just puts their hand up to the elbow, and they pull it out. It's just like stone hand. So that's very cool. All right, let's go back to chat. Now, done with this little tangent, can create mini mimics to create a mimic colony. Mini mimics. So items left in the cauldron become mimics. There is Medea's spell. She cut a lamb into pieces and cooked them. Then arrived young, but she cooked the king without using the spell. But what does it do? What does Medea's spell do? Imagine a corpse mimic. Corpse mimic sounds horrific. Yeah, the witch was actually one of the most horrific, maybe the most horrific aspect of the campaign up till now. It was probably the creepiest thing because she combined animals without their wishes, like against their wishes. She made animals which are combinations. Okay, it revives people, it makes them young again. She was a mad scientist. Yeah, it's a very much a mad scientist vibe. Okay, so creates mimics from corpses. When a dead body is placed inside it, it becomes a mimic. What is a mimic? She was a Frankenstein, though, so it's good. If this got Frankenstein-y, it's actually really good because she was very much a magical version of Dr. Frankenstein. She didn't bring... I mean, she wasn't Frankenstein in the sense that she didn't bring things back to life. She only operated on living things. But she was actually Dr. Moreau. She was Dr. Moreau is the character she most resembles. She took animals and she combined them, which is exactly the island of Dr. Moreau. Back to the game. I think you could eat animals quickly and gain their form like a droid. Oh, that's cool. Nice. So, if you cook animals and eat the stew, you gain their abilities. That's really nice. Yeah, just for a while. You gain their abilities for a short while. Let's say until you eat anything else, right? Okay, so we're gonna erase the mystic knowledge and reagents, creates reagents. I usually let my characters be creative and use things for unintended purposes, and if somebody wants to make a reagent or combine something and create a new magical substance, I'm probably gonna let them do that with this cauldron. It's gonna be a very multi-purpose cauldron. But I think there's a one very flavorful ability, pun very much intended, which was to make the perfect goulash soup out of anything, any meaty thing. But the two actually useful abilities, if you cook animals and eat the stew, you can gain their abilities for a short while. And the second one, it can create mimics from corpses. You fail to get into your form, you might become Frankensteinish. Oh, you can gain... So, not just their abilities, and their physical form for a short while. However, remember that this is a transmutation. This is like a partial transmutation, which probably looks quite creepy. Alright? It's very important because she was creepy. She was a creepy Dr. Moreau, so it needs to be a creepy process to go through. Soupmancy. Turn into a wolf, go meet a pack, hunt something with them, eat as a wolf, turn back into a human and run away from the other wolves. Yes. Forget that you're not supposed to eat something. Very nice. Fledgling Gamer, I think for you it's coming up to 1? No, it's not 1, it's 3. It's about 2:45 p.m., right? For you. If I'm not mistaken, if you're in Washington State. If you leave it on the stove too long, instead of burning the ingredients, that'll just churn out animal-based abominations? Probably. I just want you to tell me what a mimic is. Like, I want to make it into like a mechanically significant thing. What a mechanic... Almost 1. Oh, it is 1. Almost 1. Okay, cool. That means that when we started... Oh, Washington State, right, it's the West Coast. I miss... Yes, Washington State is actually Pacific time. So when we start, it's 11 a.m. for you. It's usually when we start. What is evening going on into night for us here in Europe and the Middle East? Mimics can change forms into anything and are acidic. They want to eat and reproduce. Is the cauldron itself a mimic with acid capabilities? I don't think it's going to be a mimic. It's not a mimic. They can only be controlled by those who drink from the cauldron. Okay, so they can be controlled. A mimic looks like the original thing, but is controlled by the person who made it. Yes. Oh, voodoo. I love that. It's like voodoo. It's like voodoo. And also let's add in that they are mute. They are mute. I think it's going to be more interesting to play with, more challenging, and also harkening back to the Dagda's cauldron from Irish myth. Also, it's nice and challenging in the fact that this cauldron is not a Dagda's cauldron. It's like this size. It's like a pot. It's like a large, medium-large size pot. So that means you cannot create a horse mimic or a whale mimic. You can only create mimics out of rats and birds and small, like, you know, rodents and creatures like that kind of thing. So you can create these, and then you can probably send them out like to spy for you, to do useful things, maybe to fight for you. Not very useful in fight, but can be effective in large numbers. I think in large, if you create many of these, like one after the other, they can be effective. Mimics can share their forms. You have 4 animals and one is a snake. You can tell them to be 4 snakes. I think I want to make it more simpler, but also more challenging. If you want to have 4 snakes, find 4 snakes. If liquid silver is cooked as a meal, a lycanthrope will be cured of its lycanthropy. Nice. So let's write down in general. Can cook magical potions, reagents, useful materials such as curative, transformative, meditative, etc. Let's write down that because it's a general power, it's going to be a hard roll to do so, right? Always at a disadvantage. There's always going to be a disadvantage to do it because it's like a very generally useful item. I want to make it hard to use. Whenever they have like a cool idea, they're going to have to go through some effort. Maybe try more than once, waste some resources, maybe find a way to cooperate to give themselves advantage to cancel out the disadvantage. And only then will they have like a good chance to actually make it. Medicinal. Yep. Well, I wrote curative, which is kind of like medicinal, I think. Wait, that's cool. That's a nice list of items. It's a bunch of like a nice list of powers for this item. It's very, very cool. Yeah, you might need to research recipes for a specific potion. I think the general principle is going to be like causes like, or like cures like homeopathy, you know? When you want to, for example, cure lycanthropy, you make a potion out of silver, a silver tincture, you know? You put some silver flecks in there. You grind up the silver and you put it into the potion. So silver to cure lycanthropy or to cause lycanthropy. If you want to, you know, cure poison, you need to find a poisonous weed like a nightshade. You know, I think that's probably should be the principle, the general principle. It's meditative? What's the problem with meditative? I meant like something that allows you to go into another state of mind and gain insight, like gain visions. That's what I meant by meditative. Not medicinal. I meant like something that gives you like visions and some kind of supernatural insight. I don't know if meditative is the right word to use. Maybe it's not the best word to use there. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Next, the last item for today, because we're already going on 2 hours, the Ocarina. The person who gave the PC the Ocarina is Heimlich, which was based on the Pied Piper of Hamelin. Heimlich uses magical instruments to create musical instruments to create magical effects. Okay, so like the flute used by the Pied Piper, the Heimlich has a lot of different instruments in different pockets on his vest. And at the end of actually the very last episode, the most recent episode, the PC was given, because they completed a quest, the PC was given the Ocarina. So now they have an Ocarina, and we don't know what the Ocarina does. Also, another advantage the Ocarina has, another, let's call it power, is that the player actually has an Ocarina in their home. So they can actually maybe bring an Ocarina and play it when they use the item. Oh, cool, Fledgling Gamer. You have a 90-second video on YouTube introducing your character. That's very cool. That's nice. Nice. Okay, the Ocarina calls for aid. That's a nice idea. Ocarina. Calls for aid is one idea. That's cool. Give me other ideas. What kind of magic does the Ocarina do? Remember that it's based on the Pied Piper. It doesn't have to be exactly the same power, the same effect. But it's a character based on the Pied Piper. It's also a character that has a lot to do with cold magic. My voice is starting to go. Time stop. Charm creature. Nice. Cool ideas. Time stop. Charms creatures. It freezes. Oh, it freezes. Time freeze. It brings fog. Fog. Fog is nice. Heimlich lives on an island in the middle of a lake. The lake is fed by waters coming in from distant mountains. And it's snow water. It's water that's snow melt. And because it comes straight from the mountains, it's a very long river. It's a very long way the water goes, but because it comes from a very magical area in the mountains, the waters stay cold. And the lake is infused with cold. Like a supernatural, a magical cold. And this is on a small island in the middle of the lake. This is where Heimlich lives. Okay. More effective in icy terrains in the cold. It calls Epona. I am curious to hear what Epona is. What is Epona? Charm is very much in keeping with the Pied Piper. Yeah, I like the charm idea as well. But what is Epona? I want to hear more about Epona. Tell me a little bit about what and who Epona is. The goddess of horses. It is? She is? Epona. In Gallo-Roman religion, Epona was the protector of horses, ponies, donkeys, and mules. Huh. It's an icy Pied Piper, yes. It has ice in the pipes. In Gaelic myth, yeah. As a horse from the video game Zelda. Oh, a horse from the video game, so I guess in Zelda they named the horse after the goddess of horses in Gallo-Roman religion. Particularly a goddess of fertility, as shown by her attributes of a patera, cornucopia, ears of grain, and the presence of foals in some sculptures. Very cool. I like that. Ocarina sounds like a bird? I don't know. I think it sounds like any wind instrument. It's made of usually made of a shell or a stone, a hard shell. An ice cream truck. Oh, if only I had that idea a week ago. Oh shit, I would have totally made it an ice cream truck. It comes along to the village and it offers flavored snowballs, magical flavored snowballs, and the children all trail a line behind the sled. It drives a sled on the ground. Oh shit, that's perfect. Oh, nice. I love it. Okay, so it charms small creatures. Small creatures become icy swarms and attack with magical cold damage. Okay. You still count they haven't seen the ground sled. The ground sled is a... Yeah, but they're away. They're not going to stay in the village. Next session is going to start away from the village already. They're done with that quest. Spoiler. Spoiler alert! They're in a new location. Next week is a new quest. Charms small creatures. gives them cold powers. I think fog I like less. Calls for aid. It's kind of like charming small creatures, right? So actually it calls small creatures from the surrounding area, right? So I think that's my favorite idea up till now. The Mozzies will maybe never be seen. They might never be seen. An unknown ally. Oh, an unknown ally will join. That's cool. Oh shit, swarm of sparrows with icy blue eyes dive bombing. Oh no. But the sparrows don't die. They don't. The poor sparrows don't die, do they? Yeah, I don't want Game of Thrones zombies. I don't want Song of Ice and Fire zombies. That is kind of cool, though. That is kind of cool. I think I don't want all the small animals to die, especially the one of the characters is kind of like a druid now. Ducks. Ooh, maybe they can form the ocarina. I know what it does. It forms icy, watery, icy versions of the animals around. No, the ocarina is from a benevolent creature. It's from Heimlich. The cauldron is from the fucked up witch. The ocarina is from Heimlich. I think I like I like Sally's latest idea. It actually, it's like, you know, in 5th edition, yeah, benevolent is a bit much. It's complicated, but he did give them the ocarina as a favor. Like, he did give them the ocarina as a good thing because you did well, you did what I wanted, and let me give you a quest reward, right? I think I want... It's not cold powers exactly. In 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, the summoning powers is most of the summoning spells don't actually summon. When you summon a demon, you actually summon an actual demon from hell. But if you summon an animal or fey creatures to help you in a fight, what they did is they changed it in 5th edition. And now you don't actually summon a real animal like a wolf or a bear from somewhere to fight for you and then die in a fight for you. Because they figured it will be much nicer for the players if what is summoned is not an actual living animal from an actual place in the world, but just like fey energies, magical energies that take form in the shape of woodland animals that come fight for you as a druid. Yes, I don't know if I would call it slavery, but I would call it a mean thing to do. You do summon things and control them magically and make them fight for you, which I guess, Sally, could mean that your point is quite correct. But they decided, because they wanted to make it simpler and easier for the players. You know, you don't actually summon living things; you summon magical versions of them, and then when they die in the fight, they just like evaporate, they just dissipate. So now it calls magical frosty versions of the animals in the animals that inhabit the area you're in. These animals have cold-based attacks. Now, Bobicus, nice to meet you, Bobicus. By the way, I haven't said hi before because I was involved in this whole tangent explanation about 5e summoning spells. You wanted to have a healing bird. On a verbal command, this mechanical bird will flap over to a target creature and then dive into them, transforming into a slug of magical healing energy. Heals 1d4 plus 1. Oh, that's very cool. It's very cool. Actually, they might need some healing. They might need some healing because they're gonna lose their healer. Very just put on healing word. Oh, healing bird. The healing bird. So you can later, when you're more powerful, you can find a bird of death, a bird of killing, right? A power bird death, power bird kill. Maybe you could take a note from the spell Fire Shield as ice and a swarm of icy constructs. What does it do? Power bird kill, exactly, yeah. What do you mean by that, Fledgling Gamer? Tell me what is the, Power word chill. Power bird heal, power bird command, power bird kill. Yeah, but what do you mean by take a note from Fire Shield? What is that? One sec, let me grab it. People are loving the power bird spells. I didn't mean it like that. I don't know if I wanted. Okay. So we want. Okay. I don't know if we. Okay. The power birds. Oh god. Okay, but chill is definitely a power from the Ocarina. I'm wondering about. The other power birds should probably be other items, right? It should be like a set of birds. A legendary artificer created the power birds. Power word spells. What kind of power word spells do we have? Oh, I opened it in the same. Powered annihilate? Oh, that's different. No, that's not what we want. Where do I actually find stun? There's a power word stun, power word kill, power word heal, power word vibes. Okay, so you mean, Fledgling Gamer, what you mean is for the animals to create like a protective frosty shield around you. Let's use this as a base, except you are surrounded by a swarm of small icy constructs. I've heard of the joke one power word kale, and a failed save the target creature immediately diets. That's perfect. That is perfect. That is so good. It's this joke about completely change a D&D spell by changing only one letter. Kale is changing 2 letters, but then the description of the spell is also almost exactly the same, except for one added letter. It's perfect. The target creature immediately diets. I absolutely love that. Alright. So you're surrounded by a swarm of small icy, well, not constructs exactly, a small icy animals, like versions of animals. Okay, so they protect you. Attack enemies and heal. So now let's decide on what the mimics sit still behave says. more and more animals, more and more unwitting animals that have to serve you. But I think these ones are going to have like a list of specific abilities, right? When they appear, you get a pool of four-sided dice. All right? These dice can be spent whenever you want outside of your turn. Okay, so it doesn't have to be, it doesn't cost you your action or anything, to protect against attacks, heal damage, or damage enemies. All right? You have four-sided dice, like 4d4. Is that too weak? That might be too weak. Maybe 4d6 for 6-sided dice. Just that when you use it, you can immediately use it to do... Shelled. An amulet of 1d6 lets one beat shells. Each shell can be crushed as a reaction to add +5 to your AC until the next turn and prevent all damage from the magic missile spell. That's... well, yeah, that's shield. Shelled. Nice. Bobicus is a fountain of ideas. Shelled. Yeah, I get the pun. Bobicus, please tell us, where are you from in the world? We didn't say, we didn't get formally introduced yet. And this stream is going to be over very soon. So I want to get to know you and everyone else who's just been lurking. Say hi. West Coast as well. So it's two people from the West Coast already. I'm going to tell you all about myself in a second. I just want to make sure that I write this down properly. Fledgling Gamer suggested a D6. I'm going to write down like a maybe. Maybe D6s. I wonder. I don't know. But that is cool. That is a very cool item. It's pretty simple. It has a lot of applications. Like, you can use it in a fight. It's hot and I'm not about it. What? About what? Is there a reference I'm missing? Again, another pun that I'm missing. Alright, so we have the ocarina. So we just finished designing. I think we're gonna leave that to a different item, Sally. I think the call for aid is we're gonna have to... Very hot right now. Oh, Israel is terrible. I'm from Israel, by the way. Nice to meet you. My name is Itamar. This is Figment RP. I'm gonna introduce this channel formally in just a second, but yeah, it is terrible in Israel this week. It's gonna just get worse and worse. It's like 30 degrees every day. No, yeah, we're definitely, we don't like the heat in Israel. No, neither is it ours. Oh shit, yeah. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I seem to know I worked with some British people. I think it was pretty bad in England as well, wasn't it? It was very, very hot. And in Israel, one of the advantages we do have here is that we're used to the heat. So we have AC. We have very powerful AC in every car, every house. Very good air conditioning, which in other countries, as I've found out the painful way, they don't always have AC at all. And like hotel rooms and houses and stuff. Speak for what? Used to it? No, I mean we're used to it as a people. We're scarred by it. I hate the heat. No, I'm not used to it physically. I die. I hate it. I mean that we're, as a people, as a nation, we know that it's gonna be hot, always hot. Please, no, do not slight me this way. No. As Brits do, we'll complain it's too cold, and the second it warms up, we'll complain it's too hot. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. To still behave complaining about her AC not being strong enough. Not having a good AC in Israel is a death sentence, especially now. It's the end of June. It's terrible. It's the beginning of the 2 months of hell we experience every year. And on that note, I think I was slowly going to draw to the end. I want to take stock of what we did. It was crazy productive today. Like most of the time today, we spent on what is going to be probably a long-going quest, like months probably. It's going to take Atlas to find an extra 8 items to complete the Death Knight's regalia. There's some connections being made in chat. Yeah, go visit each other. Use each other's powerful AC. So we designed a lot of items. Cool, except for the transforming sword and the scabbard, which already exists. We gave specific power to the scabbard. We decided what the scabbard actually can do, what the magic is, and then
a gauntlet, a signet ring, a cloak, a brooch, a black plate armor, cursed mask, a cursed quiver, and the soul/body of the original owner of the regalia, which is actually the secret 10th part of the set. It's going to be so cool, and Talia's going to be so happy to find it. Some challenges now being thrown around in chat. Buyaba's Cauldron, a witch's cauldron, which can revive small animals to create mimics, which are revived corpses that can be controlled by the person who made it. Not very useful in a fight individually. It's like all just have to be like small animals, but then you can use it. You can use it to be useful in other ways. And if you cook an animal and you eat the delicious, invariably delicious stew that comes out of this pot, you gain the abilities and physical form of the animal. You don't just turn completely into the animal. You gain some of the abilities and some of the physical form. You become a partial, like a war creature, partially the animal, partially yourself. Quite creepy to experience, quite creepy to behold. I also want goulash now. And then you gain some of the abilities for a while until you eat something else of the animal whose stew that you eat. In this game, you always gain HP from eating a good meal. So yeah, they'll gain HP as well. They'll gain some HP as well from eating the meal. That's just like any regular good food. And the ocarina, gained from a cold-aligned creature based on the Pied Piper of Hamelin. It calls when you blow on it. It calls magical frosty versions, not the other word that I said, versions of the animals that inhabit the area that you're in. So if you are in an area that has a lot of snakes, then you're gonna have like frost snakes. If you're where there's lots of songbirds, you get magical songbirds. And the yes, it's a much more advanced and powerful magic item. And you get some dice, a dice pool that you can use to inflict damage on the enemy, which is represented in the game by the animals attacking them with like frosty bites, like icy claws and beaks and whatnot. And you can also use them to heal yourself. The cold can be a healing and soothing cold, or you can use it to protect against attacks. When the animals claw at the enemy or bite or whatever, or punch it, and they distract the enemy, and they can reduce the damage that you take from attacks. So you get like a dice pool. That's very, very cool magical items. There were a bunch more that people said in chat today. I mean, I didn't write them down because they're like yours, but you can... I mean, yes, the players are never going to see this, but you, the viewers, you can have your own private joke about the magical frosty virgins, however you want. You can actually... You can... use it in an episode. Use it in an episode and make the players feel like they've missed something. I'd like that to happen. And also like my shame to be recounted and replayed at every opportunity, which is part of the reason why I'm doing this whole thing. So yeah, definitely call back to that slip. I want to say thank you to everyone who watched, everyone who joined. We have a lot of new people today, new follows. And even one raid that we had and a host was really, really cool. So thank you very much, everyone, for doing that. The new followers and the new viewers. I want to say that we are on every Saturday night and every Monday night. Saturday night means night in Israel, in the Middle East where I live. My name is Itamar. I'm from Israel, from next to Tel Aviv. 9 p.m. my time, which means 7 p.m. in the UK, 8 in most of Europe, and then somewhere between 2 p.m. and 11 a.m. in the US. We had quite a few Americans here. So it's about noon or early afternoon when we are online on Mondays and Saturdays. If you want to connect, if you want to join, this Saturday, listen to me, this Saturday is the glorious first episode of the adventures of Terran Hall. Terran Hall is a new character in a new game world, original homebrew world that I'm gonna write throughout this campaign that I'm starting this Saturday, and I'm gonna be the GM. The people playing Terran Hall, the one hero, the hero of this game, is gonna be you, chat, the people who are watching, in a choose your own adventure style game. So if you join, you're gonna get to make the choices for Terran Hall. There's gonna be a whole mechanic on how this happens. I'm gonna explain it on Saturday when we're up. When we're up on the air, when we start the show. So come on, look at the character sheet, learn all the mechanics, and learn on how to make the choices when we start. And then we're going to start, and every Saturday is going to be a new adventure. So whenever if you can't make it a certain week, it's okay, you can rejoin next week and you can see a whole new adventure. Start to finish, that one night is going to be a whole new adventure. So make sure you join, especially this Saturday is going to be the grand opening. There's going to be many other characters, Sally, but you're not going to play them. You're going to play Terran, the adventurer, the fearless adventurer who goes into dangerous tombs, wizards' towers, and no whole party. No, you're going to be... Maybe you'll have allies going with them. I'm sure, but you're gonna get all the NPCs anyway. There's gonna be a whole world around the hero. He's gonna meet a lot of characters. He's gonna have all kinds of adventures. Yes, so it's gonna be my own story. After I played through a couple of these fighting fantasy over the past several months, it was really a blast. It was really cool. So I think this one is gonna be even better because it's gonna be my adventure. And it's gonna be directed by you, and lots of improvised material. That's based like on your suggestions, going to go in the story and shape the story and the world and the main character. And that's part of what I'm hoping is going to happen. And every Monday, except for today, because everyone's sick apparently, so next Monday we're all going to get better, and we're going to continue Questers of Yalpalor. If you join us next Monday, it's going to be the perfect time to join the Monday show because you can see us start a new chapter. They just finished a quest. They just finished an arc. We're going to start a new one, and there's going to be a lot of roleplay, a lot of like catching up and recapping what just happened. So next Monday is going to be a very good episode to start watching from. So that's Questers of Yalpalor every Monday night. Every Saturday night is going to be the Adventures of Terran Hall, and not whatever you wrote, Sally. No, Terran Hall is the name of the adventurer. And that is it. That is us. That's Figment RP. I can't believe we did all that. That's a lot of material. And as I said, in a couple of weeks, it's all going to be up. Linked from the description down below for you to be able to peruse and to use in your own games. And all of our joint creativity is going to be just out there online for everyone to see. Thank you again for everyone very much. It's very cool. And I want to say good night for everyone who joined. Good afternoon for the people who are in the States. And until the next time we meet. This Saturday or next Monday or whenever it's going to be. Play hard and stay safe. Bye, everyone.